So you inherited a lot of the this non-conference schedule. I'm kind of curious, in the future, how would you like to structure non-conference schedules with, in the future for you? Similar to this, or more challenges with power teams?
It feels like everything changes year to year in college basketball. Like this year we're playing 20 Big 12 teams. Next year we're playing 18. So that's going to be a little different. So there's caveats, but I think a blanket statement: play harder teams. I would love to have even in the secret scrimmages or the exhibitions or whatever, getting some harder games early to learn more about ourselves. But I think just generally speaking, trying to play a little tougher non-conference schedule, I think would help us more than it wouldn't. So we talk about it a lot, and we're looking at different things right now. I think there's a certain number that we want to get to, right, of kind of power teams in the non-conference. So definitely would like more of a challenge.
Since you signed AJ, has that interest in playing you guys gone up? Have you got more phone calls from?
Yeah, I think just me and the school in general. Yeah, I think there's interest that's out there. It was in the back of my mind, so we had kind of preemptively put some feelers out there with things. But yeah, I think we'll have a lot of different options.
Florida A&M's your last non-conference game, so I guess what are the things you're looking for in this one that you look at, obviously beyond that, the Big 12 play?
I think we've done a good job the last two games defensively. With our just that post-Providence kind of identity, I think has been very prevalent, keeping teams off the foul line, keeping them out of the paint. Our rim defense, if teams aren't getting there, and we protect it at a good clip. So continuing to see improvement there. There's some nuanced things offensively that we're trying to not implement, but like re-emphasize. So some of that stuff, as we gear up for conference play.
Is Richie going to be able? Is there a chance he could play? I know obviously with concussion protocol and the like.
Yeah. I need to get updated today. I think it's a possibility, but it'd have to be, not a no-brainer. Like if it's on the fence, we'll probably hold him out.
And then following up, Yegor, what's the thought? Is you waiting for Big 12 play to open, or what's kind of the
so standard. Anytime we have an injury, we'll go through the protocols and the timelines that our guys put together. We're in constant communication with our team doctors on that. Jordan Brady and Wiz and Rob Ramos do a great job with that. Same thing. He's unlikely he plays. We got to get him, fully right before he gets back out there.
How much have you kind of studied the Big 12? Like, since you took the job in April, how much of your workflow has consisted of learning everything you can about the Big 12 teams?
Obviously I watch a lot of games. We're studying the analytics of the league in general. Have a pretty good feel for it, but it's hard because you obviously you want to prepare your team for the games you are playing. Whether they're power conference teams or not. You're locked in on the game plans. So as things start to shift, my focus is shifting more towards some of the Big 12 opponents and games, especially the ones that we're playing early on, and just try to educate ourselves. But Nate Austin's been a big help there. He was here last year, obviously. A lot of my coaches that have a good reference point for some of these power teams, and definitely we'll continue to learn more as we go.
In the NBA, what was the view of the Big 12? Like when you were assistant in the NBA, like was there that was viewed as the best league, or what was kind of the viewpoint of the conference?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't really look at college basketball a whole lot when I was in the NBA, so I'll be lying if I said I knew much about it. Yeah.
That's fair.
Other than Joel Embiid being like a Kansas guy and rock chalk this and that, I didn't know a whole lot about it.
What has stood out though about kind of the traits that stand out of these teams? Is there any common threads between these Big 12 teams?
Yeah, I just think the toughness, the physicality, the fouling, the rebounding, stuff that we feel like we're trying to get our guys prepared for. I think those are, the pressure. It's a pretty cookie cutter blueprint. I feel like, not, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean teams do it for a reason because it's hard to play against. So I think that's kind of been the identity, of the league.
What's kind of your philosophy on playing zone defense? Watching you the other night, I'm trying to figure, are they in a zone, are they not? And maybe you camouflage it really well.
Yeah.
Are you, like Dave Rose hated to play zone.
Yeah.
But what's kind of your there?
No, I believe in mixing up defenses. I mean, a lot of our man looks like zone because we try to really protect the paint, and don't get caught up in a lot of exchanges and so forth. And we switch a lot too on and off the ball. So our man looks like zone, a lot of same principles. But as far as stone cold zone goes, I mean, there's times where we're definitely, throwing it out. I think I like having, change ups, which I think in college it's way more prevalent than the NBA, I think that's probably one of the biggest differences I've seen in college versus the NBA. There's way more stuff you have to prepare for game to game here than in the NBA, in terms of defenses that you'll get thrown at you. So, we try to be similar, try to be opportunistic with the zone. I mean, it's funny, man. There's like what did one coach say? It was one of the non-conference games we had early. He said something like, "Man, even a bad coach has a good man-to-man baseline out-of-bounds play. That's why they zone every baseline out-of-bounds play, right? Most coaches have, a encyclopedia worth of man plays, and the zone stuff isn't as robust. So I think that's part of it."
How do you feel about your rotation and how that's taking shape as you near the end of non-conference play?
I mean, constantly evaluating it. It's been hard because of the injuries. I think we'll still be in learn mode even in the conference when it starts, which I'm not, crazy about. I wish we had a little bit better sample size with what we're doing. Injuries have made it hard, but at the same time, been a blessing because you've been able to see different things, different combinations. But that's stuff I look at all the time. Talk to Akash, our analytics guy, about who's playing well with who do we need to pair more together. So it's for me a work in progress and will be probably the whole year.
Is shot making at a premium in college basketball as it was when you were in the NBA? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think shooting makes everything easier. So especially I don't think there's a ton of great shooting across the board in college. I think, I don't even think we've shot it that well. Honestly, I know our frequency's been decent, but from a efficiency standpoint, we could be much higher. So yeah, I think the good teams make shots. It's harder to guard obviously when you're doing that, and I think the better teams in college kind of construct their teams to that identity.
Last question. Go ahead. I'm good. When you talk with, you have a gig or getting all this NBA attention, I'm sure Cannon and Mihailo will get the same type of stuff. When those conversations come up, how much of it focuses on what you guys are doing here at the collegiate level to prepare them for the next level versus just overall production?
Meaning, what are they doing unique to our style versus just raw production?
I guess they translate in their mind to the next level.
I mean, I think it depends on who you talk to. I think everyone looks at it a little bit differently. I think some of the stuff we do, I think it's easier to see, okay, well, that's something that's definitely going to happen in the NBA. I can see what that looks like for that guy. But, I mean, there's no replacement for just raw efficiency numbers. I don't care what the system or style of play is, right? And so, I'm on our guys all the time about trying to be more efficient, Like Cannon's a great example. I'm all over Cannon all the time about shoot and catch and shoot threes. He's shoot at such a high clip. And anytime he dribbles at first, his efficiency goes way down. And that's, that isn't NBA or college. That's just basketball, And so I've always been a guy that strives for efficiency. That's kind of how I made my mark in the NBA, and trying to bring that same approach here. Yeah, thanks.